The 2026 Formula One regulations aren't just going to mix up a lot of things, they're going to rock the very foundations of what people hold dear in Formula One. But it probably is the best thing for everyone, even if we don't like it at all. And we don't. I'm a purist, I know that. And sometimes, okay, most of the time, I get in my own way because of this old school is best mentality. I really struggle to get into anything new like Drive to Survive. I'm going to do a video on that as well, because Drive to Survive really deserves a video on that. Anyway, I especially feel personally violated if things change that I have no control over, without my personal approval, like the 2026 F1 regulations. Nobody wants that, especially because they're decreasing internal combustion power by 33% and skyrocketing electrical motor power from 160 to 470 horsepower. Where the internal combustion engine will still be making more power at 560 horsepower, but they had to make the electrical motor so powerful all the 2026 cars would have no chance of trying to keep up with current gen cars. But 2026 cars will be slower. Yeah. Another reason they had to inflate electrical motor power is because they removed the NGUH, the electrical motor that reuses exhaust gases from the turbo to help generate power to recharge the batteries or directly go to the electrical motor and reduce turbo lag. But now that that motor is gone, turbo lag might become a thing again. And hearing all this for the first time made me, let's say, a little bit uneasy. Not the turbo lag part though. Managing turbo lag will be a driver thing, and we want drivers to have to do more. That is what we wanted in the first place. That is what fans keep asking for. There is a lot of focus on making F1 a net zero sport, to make it as environmentally friendly as possible, and that's good. Mother Earth must come before anything else. But it's like F1 is focused on radically changing things that will not make as big of a difference as first advertised. Engineering Explained properly dives into this in his video. He explains it much better, but here is a quick summary of it. F1 mainly consists of three CO2 producing factors: travel cost for fans, which is the biggest, travel cost for teams and the F1 circus, which comes in at second highest, and then the smallest number in that equation is the actual F1 cars running around on the track year round. And in an article on racefans.net, which I'll link below, Pat Simmons, F1's chief technological officer, is quoted in saying the amount that's represented by running our cars around the track is 0.7%. 0.7%. It really is very little indeed. He's referring here to F1's carbon footprint and the total estimated footprint of F1 as a whole, saying that our carbon footprint is just over 250,000 tons. The cars are just 0.7% of that number. So, then the question naturally comes to this: why punish the cars when they are a fraction of the problem in the first place? So, I've had a bit of a think on this. It took me weeks to come up with a reasonable answer, and here is what I got for you. Control the things you can control and forget about the things that you can't control.
Nice.
And coincidentally, for Formula One marketing, the main attraction is the cars. A really controllable formula. As net zero is great for public relations and even better for potential investors who want to boost their PR, there isn't much F1 can do when it comes to transportation and the travel costs for F1 fans. Damn it, that makes sense. But maybe the world wins in the long run as well. One of the biggest focus points for F1 is the sustainable net zero fuels by 2026. Achieving that will have a massive trickle-down effect to us, the public. They will try to achieve this feat by extracting the carbon needed from municipal waste, non-food biosources, and carbon capture. Still using the same fuel they now use in F1, but focusing on the processes used to obtain the elements that they use in the hydrocarbon-based fuel, trying to make those processes net zero. Further explaining that the fuel can be made from potato peelings, but not from the potato itself. They don't want to be competing with food sources. Naturally, that would be bad. The fuel still has a long way to go and is still very expensive to produce, and considering 2026 isn't that far off, The deadline seems kinda tight, squeezy but time. Other regulations like the size of the cars are also going to change, focus shifting to the cars being more nimble and much lighter. Yes, right, yes, more nimble, yes. Most dimensions are coming down. The cars will be shorter and narrower, length coming down by 20 centimeters and width by 10 centimeters. Also, the big 18-inch wheels will be ditched for smaller 16-inch wheels, and the width of the tires will also shrink. All these elements drastically reducing weight. All these changes though feel kinda suspect. Considering the size of the electrical motor they want to now cram into the safety cell, it's like they had to make these changes to fit the cars into this hybrid green mold the world is falling into. At least the battery remains the same size, but that brings up another weird problem, a problem that Red Bull first noticed. The problem comes with the increase in electrical motor size, but the battery still having the same output. In previous gen cars, you roughly had 33 seconds of electrical boost power within the 4 megajoule state of charge range. But with the new 470 horsepower electrical motor, that charge will be depleted within a mere 12 seconds. Cars theoretically running out of fizzy blue juice halfway through a straight, especially in places like Baku or Monza. Now, you can see why Red Bull is worried. But Nicolas Tombadzi's FIA single-seater director said that they have a solution to the problem. They just haven't shared it yet. Saying, we believe that the combination of low drag on the cars with the way that energy can be recovered or deployed achieves a speed profile similar to the cars that we have now. Emphasizing that the FIA is clear that they want cars to be running hard into corners, so drivers are heavy on brakes and not lifting and coasting and taking it easy on entry. Okay, we'll see about that then. Cars with lower drag and movable aero seems like the way of the future. But wouldn't that negate DRS then? But Tombadzis clears this up by saying there will definitely be a change of incidence of the wing on the straight to achieve a low drag. Further saying there will be something equivalent to the current DRS, which will basically enable the car that is within a certain limit to potentially get in a position to attack. Sounds pretty exciting. Looks like we have a lot of new aerotech coming our way. Yep, especially because you're taking all of the power away from the internal combustion engine. In the end, all these changes just further remove us from the dreamy days of big, noisy engines and smelly paddocks to cleaner, more sustainable and keeping the man happy regulations. Changes that only affect the smallest part of F1's total carbon footprint. I think the net zero fuel is really something that will make the biggest difference to the world in the long run, and we still want our sport to be relevant. It's really difficult balancing the opinions of the old with the needs of our new world. We simply can't go back to where we came from, but we also can't let people who don't have 1 ounce of passion for the spirit of the sport make everything about ones and zeros. And then, the thing that matters most, of course, is the bottom line. So, what can we really do anyway? Please continue the debate in the comments below. I really want to hear your take on the regulations and the direction F1 is going in. Have a racing day further. I'll see you in the next one.